Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Caregiver Coffee brought to you by COAST, or the Council on Aging in St. Tammany Parish, Louisiana. My name is Matt Estrad. I'm a gerontologist in the greater New Orleans area, partnering with COAST on these weekly Monday Facebook Lives where I answer questions or offer information about caregiving to caregivers. I'm also a caregiver support group leader, facilitator for COAST, and have been doing so for about 5.5 years now. And I'll tell you a little bit about the support groups near the end of this video in case you're interested. And as always, I have my email address up on the screen. So if you have questions about the support group, or if you have topics or questions you'd like me to cover on a Monday Facebook Live, or you just need to reach out and ask a question, let me know at matt@carepartnermentoring.com. So today's question is, and I'm gonna go ahead and read this so I get everything right, and then I'll do my best to answer it based on the information that I have here in the question. So the question is this: my mom is not doing well. She's experiencing memory issues. She's 80 years old. I am here in Louisiana and she lives in Virginia. I have siblings, but they are not in Virginia either. They're spread out throughout the country. So what suggestions do you have for me to take care of my mom even though I am very far away? All right, so first of all, I appreciate that question, and I welcome other questions as we go. Also, while I'm giving this live talk, I welcome you to like and share and have your own questions or comments based on this. But if you're watching a recording, go ahead and send an email to matt@carepartnermentoring.com. That's right there on the screen. So anyway, to talk about this question. So this is I won't say this is common, but I hear it fairly often where there's a family member and there's another family member who needs help, and they're in different states. So this can present a challenge, and long distance caregiving is what this is called. And it takes coordination, it takes creativity, it takes sometimes a trip there to where your loved one is to sort of get an idea of what's going on. But I'll offer some tips for anybody that finds themselves in this situation. So it is good news that you have siblings. Now, ideally, it would be great if your siblings lived in the same state or near your mom who's going through these issues. But even though it's not the case, it still provides a team rather than just you in solitude working on this. At least hopefully, theoretically, it gives you more people to help out and figure out the next steps. And you didn't mention it, but I'm going to assume that your father or other companion of your mom is no longer around or is not able to take care of her. So we'll just kind of assume that for now and proceed. So I do recommend a face-to-face visit. I understand that might take making arrangements with work. Maybe that's something that's possible. That a lot of people are telecommuting right now. Maybe that is an opportunity for you to either drive or fly safely to visit your mom, but also do that when you have some specific goals. And these might be some of the goals, like a doctor's appointment with the primary care physician. This might be an opportunity this is an opportunity to look around her home. I'm going to assume that she's living at home by herself. So you're looking all over. You're looking for safety hazards. You're looking for old food in the refrigerator that won't be safe. You're looking to see if her pantry is stocked, and really just to kind of get a feel for everything that's going on. It'd probably be good if you are visiting to stay with your mom, although that might be the case anyway. But I would encourage you to do that so you have more time to observe your mom and interact with her, see how her memory is with everyday things, and also her long-term memory. Not that you're testing your mother, but it's just going to invariably come up in conversation. Is she able to find the right words to describe things, or is she saying instead of saying this is a coffee mug, or that this is a mouse, that this is a pen, is she saying the thing that you write with, or the thing that you drink out of? Those would be sort of some red flags if she's not able to find words or follow the conversation. So visiting the primary care physician with your mom would be very important. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. She may be resistant to that. She may be resistant to the visit anyway. But hopefully this is something that can be set up, that you can convince her to do, so that you can take care of her and see how things are going. Now, this is all needs to come, even though I understand it comes from a place of concern and concern of love for your mom. It's important that you communicate that it's not to you want to avoid being perceived as coming in to save the day and I'm going to take care of you, and there are things wrong with you. It's still important though you have some concerns about your mom, to come in with gratitude, with thinking about how this might appear from her side of the situation. So you don't want to be overbearing. You want to come in and say, look, I just have some concerns. I want you to be able to live in your home and as long as you can, as safely as you can. So I'm going to come in and we're just going to hang out and see how things are going. We might even when was the last time you went to the doctor. So however you do it, and of course I'm just kind of talking through this and thinking out loud about it. These are things that you should take some time to discern and how you're going to approach it. But certainly it's got to come. You got to communicate the reality, which is that it's coming from a place of love and a place of compassion, and that you're coming in to help, not come in and tell your mom what to do and take over her life and all that kind of stuff, like she can't do it herself. And then of course you might have to address some concerns. She may tell you about the short-term memory or the memory impairment. She might tell you about challenges with driving or feeling lonely or anything like that. So this would be good, to get her talking. All right. So you mentioned that there are siblings, even though they're not living in the state. Now, this would be good to have some kind of video call, Zoom call with your siblings, at minimum of a phone call, to let them know what your concerns you have. Let them know what you're thinking. I'm thinking about going to see mom and helping her, go to a primary care physician exam to kind of get checked out and see how things are going. And that way you get their buy-in and you get their feedback. They might be on board with you. They might minimize what your concerns are. They might say, no, please don't do that. Mom's going to get mad. So it could be anywhere from like complete support to opposing what you're doing. But just for the sake of not just for, but for the sake of wanting to have their cooperation and their buy-in from the very beginning, it's important, because what you want to avoid is miscommunications. You want to avoid it looking like you're just flying in to save the day and then telling your siblings afterwards, when they may have wanted to offer feedback before, and they may have helped save you a trip, or they might be able to say, oh yeah, I have the same concerns, let me help you. So definitely keep them in the loop and let them know what's going on. The fewer surprises, the better, so that you can have like a good team relationship and a good team effort, because you're going to need help. There are people who don't have siblings that are where the person would the caregiver would love to have siblings to be able to help. So there are only children that don't have that. There are also people with siblings where the siblings want to have nothing to do with it, whether it's they don't want to cooperate, or whether they're in denial of a parent's probable memory loss or memory concerns. So get them involved, and then when you do have them on board, they can help the visit. Y'all can take turns, once a month, once every 3 months, depending on their availability and their flexibility and their willingness to help out. And even remotely, if in addition to being able to visit, or even if they can't visit, there's lots that can be done there's lots of caregiving tasks that can be done remotely. So one example is to just in case an assisted living might be an option in the future, one sibling can go online or open up the yellow pages and take a look and make a list of, okay, these are the assisted living facilities that are in the area. This is roughly how much they are per month. There is a wait or there's not a wait. What kind of assessment or recommendation or application needs to be done? How quickly can someone, be admitted into an assisted living facility? So there's so many things that can be explored and researched from many hours and states away. So same thing with local resources. So we're recording this right now for the Council on Aging in St. Tammany. Where your mom lives, there is likely a Council on Aging, or they might call it an area agency on aging. And either way, so it's important to find out what the resources are. So you call them and you talk about your concerns, and this is where she lives, and what kind of things do y'all have available to someone in the situation where my mom is, and they'll talk to you about, well, we have homemaker services, or we have caregivers that might be able to come in, or we have Meals on Wheels, so whatever resources that are in the area, they'll let you know. They can also let you know about services other than the Council on Aging services, and that could be, what does Volunteers of America do? What does I'm having trouble thinking of other organizations, but possibly organizations that do home modifications and home repairs and things like that. So does the Council on Aging have a senior center where they'll pick mom up, bring her, depending on how her memory is, she might be able to be independent, or she might need a caregiver there with her. So whatever the case is, you can start to do a lot via phone, via email, via internet, in researching all the different things. So I hope this is helpful. If you have any direct questions, you can always contact me at Matt@CarePartner Mentoring, and I'll be happy to do what I can and provide more specific answers to your situation. In the meantime, I encourage everybody who's watching this to send in their caregiver questions. It might be your question, it might be a friend who's a caregiver and they have a question, and you just thought, hey, this would be something good for Matt to talk about, because it might benefit other people. So anyway, just a little bit about the caregiver support groups in closing this Facebook Live out. So I've been facilitating for 5.5 years. And before the pandemic, I would host these on Tuesdays in Covington or Slidell. I would go back and forth between the senior activity centers in both of those cities. And they go from 6 p.m. to 7:30. Now, let's say since March, since the senior activity centers have been closed, they've been on the Zoom platform. So if you're interested in participating in these, or somebody who might be interested, please contact me. If you're interested, and if someone else is, send them my email, matt@carepartnermentoring.com, and I'd be happy to talk with them more, answer their questions. Some people, but I would say a lot of people like support groups. Some people are hesitant to go to a support group for whatever reason. But if there are questions, I'd be happy to answer them and let you decide whether it's something that you want to do. And if you can't make the support groups on Tuesday nights when we have them, I'm happy to reach out to other facilitators and see if their group will work for you, if the times and dates and everything will work better for you rather than this one. So I hope this has been helpful. Please join me next Monday at noon for the Caregiver Coffee. And until then, take care. Bye.